Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Some foster parents are furious after a shocking voicemail is left by someone with Stutsman County Social Services. They filed a complaint and then contacted our whistleblower hotline asking us to investigate. In the voicemail, a Stutsman County Social Services worker can be heard speaking disparagingly about their children and family. We want to warn you, the words are troubling to listen to. Valley News Team's Ashley Holcomb spoke with the parents and shares this exclusive story.
It was disparaging. It was hurtful. Neither one of us slept all night. I just replayed it over and over and over in my head all night.
These two anonymous foster parents are at a loss for words. They received documentation in the mail for medical assistance with one of their children and called Stutsman County Social Services to inform them of the mistake made on the document. When the eligibility department returned their call, this is what they said after thinking they had hung up the phone. And after hearing this message, the parents were devastated.
And we were really hurt. We were really hurt. And nobody should ever have to feel like this. Nobody should ever have to defend themselves like this. And no child should ever be called a crack baby.
When the foster mother went in to file a complaint, she said the woman she spoke with didn't write anything down.
She didn't seem very concerned at all.
She says the woman told her she would pass the information along to their supervisor. And when we reached out to the Stutsman County Social Services, they chose not to comment.
People can say what they want to say, but I'm not going to breach confidentiality.
Okay. The parents have not received an apology, but they have a message for the two women who were speaking in the voicemail.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
We have a saying in this house, your words have power. It's the power of life and death. And your words should always choose life. So speak life into somebody else. And that's not what they did.
And they have an even greater message for their children who were spoken poorly about.
That they can always achieve more than anybody could ever think or imagine. That they are created in a wonderful way. That they are loved beyond measure. And some people are just ignorant.
In Jamestown, Ashley Holcomb, Valley News Live.
After our team spoke with Stutsman County Social Services, they reached out to the foster parents and asked for a copy of the voicemail. The supervisor told them she would take a look into the situation. And remember, you can contact our whistleblower hotline if you need help with a serious issue in your community. Call 237-6576 and leave your tip. We'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Just when you think we're done with the wintry weather, another round shows up. The next 2 weeks could be interesting or frustrating, if you like that word better. Hutch, what's it looking like overnight and tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow is a day of transition, Andrea. Some of us will be colder, others a chance at seeing some mid and upper 30s once again. Tonight, we're fairly quiet and the wind finally settling down. Radar quiet in our area as well. Here's how things transpire. Cold front moves through the northern valleys. We go through the early day, arriving in the south late, and it'll bring some light snow amounts as we go through the day. However, as we go through and toward the weekend, Friday looks to bring some significant measurable snow to the valley. And this time, Andrea, because of the cold air, the snow will pile up a little faster than the slushy, wet stuff that we saw last week. I'll have details on what we're expecting coming up here in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A North Dakota mother says her daughter's bullying was so severe she moved her to another school district. Heather Hike of Leonard, North Dakota says her 10-year-old daughter had been attending Kindred Elementary School up until today when she moved her to Mapleton Elementary. Hike says her daughter started making excuses to stay home from school for months before she learned what was going on.
I was dropping them off on Wednesday. She had asked me why kids bully and pulled up to the school, and she said that somebody told her that she needs to kill herself.
Hike says she spoke with the school, but according to her, the parents of the bullies were not contacted. The school tells us it cannot speak about any specific child because of privacy laws, but that its bullying policy does include contacting the parents of students accused of bullying. A state trooper in Utah is recovering after a frightening accident that took place while he was helping a motorist on the side of the roadway. The video we're about to show you is jarring, and some of you may want to look away. The trooper was approaching a vehicle on the shoulder when another car slammed into him, sending him flying. It's difficult to watch, but remember, he is recovering. He was assisted by several bystanders and then taken to a hospital for treatment. After this heart-stopping crash, officials in Minnesota are pushing for stronger move-over laws in the state. Valley News Team's Joseph Ojo talked to a state trooper today and shows us what you should do when coming upon an emergency vehicle.
This terrifying crash caught on camera shows a Utah trooper slammed into from behind by an out-of-control vehicle, sending him airborne. The video is sparking Minnesota officials to push for changes to move over laws which have been in place since the year 2000.
For any roadway which has 2 or more lanes of traffic going in the same direction, for example, like around here, it'd be I-94 or Highway 10 would be a good example of that. If you see a vehicle on that shoulder, you need to move to that far lane away.
Minnesota state law requires motorists who come upon stopped emergency vehicles with flashing lights to move over an entire lane. And if you can't move over due to congested traffic, Graybo says motorists should be slowing down and proceeding with caution.
It really helps keep us safer by giving us some room and just by just allowing that extra room for error.
Having been hit from behind by a vehicle that failed to slow down and move over, this law hits close to home for Graybo. He says it's not about the number of citations issued, but more about bringing attention and awareness to the public and keeping everyone safe.
I don't want to see anyone getting hurt out here, and to try to keep everybody else a little bit safer.
With springtime here in the valley, Graybo says the weather is unpredictable and stresses the importance of driving according to the conditions of the road.
The best thing to do is pay attention, scan the roadway. I mean, you really need to focus on what's ahead, always keeping your eyes to the horizon and pay attention what's going on around you.
In Barnesville, Joseph Ojo, Valley News Live.
Officials say from the moment you recognize lights, start to take your foot off the gas pedal and then be prepared to move over. Start checking your mirrors and your blind spot, as this will prevent unnecessary crashes from happening. If you fail to pull over, you could face fines that exceed $100. A police chief is at odds with his city council after a decision to not put down a dangerous pit bull. The Thief River Falls, Minnesota police chief said the pit bull, Tex, has bitten 3 different people. But the owners contest that fact, and they appealed before the city council. The council is allowing the dog to live if the owner meets a long list of requirements. But the police department says they have failed to meet requirements in the past.
Sooner or later, humans do have to come first, and we have 3 documented dog bites here, and some of them are pretty serious. And we've had 2 letters already that this is a dangerous dog, and we've had really no cooperation with complying with those letters.
To hear what the owners have to say, we have a story up on our website. You can check it out on valleynewslive.com. 2 women and 3 kids are killed after their car plunges off a cliff along the Pacific Coast Highway. And one of the women had lived in Minnesota. That's later on Valley News Live at 10. But first, 48 tons of canned chicken products are being recalled by a Minnesota company where the chicken was sold. Up next.